In this series, we will analyse teams, identify problem areas and suggest solutions in the form of incoming players. We won't follow gossip, rumours or conjecture, we're concerned only with the player's on-field performance and their suitability for the role in question. Today's team is Real Madrid. Welcome to Sensible Transfers. Real Madrid have built on their Champions League win with a decisive and forward-thinking summer so far. Antonio Rudiger has joined on a free transfer from Chelsea to expand their centre-back options. And Aurélien Tchouaméni has signed from Monaco. Tchouaméni was one of the most sought-after young midfielders in world football, and with good reason, because even at 22, he does everything well. He's defensively excellent, carries and passes the ball to a very high standard, and is physically formidable in the ground and in the air. Essentially, he's a complete midfielder, and he's joining a midfield department which is now fully stocked for perhaps as long as the next decade, beyond the careers of Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, and even Casemiro. So there's nothing to address there. Instead, we'll be focusing on one of the fullback positions. Replacing Dani Carvajal isn't urgent, but Carlo Ancelotti does need a fullback who provides more in attack. He's a good defender, no doubt about that, and his passing has been of a high standard for a long time. But Real need more thrust from that position, and that needs to come from a superior athlete. With Carvajal turning 31 next January, a succession project should begin right away. Now, given that he's still playing at a high standard though, we aren't shopping for someone who has to start immediately. Instead, we're looking for an alternative and also competition. A player who can adjust to life at the club and grow into the role, making it his over time. Long-term misfit Alvaro Odriozola evidently isn't the answer. And with 2 years left on his contract, he could be sold to fund any further purchase and partially alleviate the costs of an expensive summer. Pedro Porro is an option, and one on a budget too. He'll soon turn 23, but despite having a difficult time at Valladolid in 2019-20, he has rebounded with 2 productive years at Sporting Club, who made his loan from Manchester City permanent in May of 2022. There's much to like, his attacking output is generally good, and he's a player who would threaten the opposition box. But the profile of the player isn't quite right. There are concerns about defensive security, which are pertinent given that Real have a transition attack which relies on that security. Porro's viability in the kind of big games which typically define Real Madrid seasons is also questionable, added to which he's really a wing-back rather than a full-back, and that's not quite what we're looking for in this role of a back four. A better fit would be Shakhtar Donetsk's Dodo, who Real fans will be familiar with, having faced him 4 times in the Champions League over recent seasons. That experience is important too, and shows that he can play at the required level to be a full-time starter. Dodo is Brazilian and just 23 years old, which would make him a nice fit with the growing Brazilian community at the Bernabeu. He's also extremely quick across the ground, which, as well as being an obvious attacking virtue, allows him to recover defensive positions as well. He's short, just 5'5", and while that isn't ideal in a back four, Carvajal is only 5'8", and the signing of Antonio Rudiger will provide Real's defence with physical reinforcement anyway. That probably shifts the focus more onto Dodo's strengths. He's a very aggressive fullback with attacking instincts. He doesn't really dribble past players, but he gets forward into adventurous positions and both receives and uses the ball in ways which could be very useful to Real. He's a bit of a project pick, but that does reflect a need that isn't desperate. But Carvajal is by no means a problem, and Real have probably completed their major spending for the summer. So with those caveats, Dodo is our sensible transfer. If you'd like to see sensible transfers for your team, then you are in luck, because we've written sensible transfers articles for every team in the Premier League and published them on The Athletic. To read them, you can get a 30-day free trial for The Athletic by clicking the link in the description. Thanks for watching today's video.